Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Periscope. This is Kelly Ramsey, and I am the owner and CEO of Developing People. And what we help you do is we help you to discover the greatness that's within you, develop a plan of action to carry through and to launch it. So that's what we do. And today is Monday. We do Motivation Monday on Mondays. And today I wanted to just have a little talk time, not really a planned out script today, but just a little talk time about refilling your well. And so we just celebrated Mother's Day yesterday. To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. To the mothers to be who are expecting, happy Mother's Day. And to the mothers who are waiting to conceive, which was my story for so many years, be encouraged. And believe God and have faith in God, and He will bring it to pass. I'm a witness of that. And so, good morning to everyone. Let me know who you are and where you're from, if you're new to the podcast. And if you are my Periscope family, thank you for tuning in this morning. I always love to see you guys on. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about refilling your well. And so the motivation for this is that as moms, as women, as men, as fathers, as entrepreneurs, we are constantly giving out, right? And we're constantly pouring out and giving to others, taking care of others, and doing all those things. And what happens is that when we do that, often we forget to refill our own well. And so we get to a place where there's a void, and you have nothing more to give. Then there comes into frustration and just not being productive because you have no more source. You have no more energy to give. And so I have learned over the years, I am a much better mother, wife, friend, business person when I have had my time to refill and refuel. But some of us don't know how to do that. We get so busy and we're always in the busy. I don't have time. Make the time. It's that important. You have to make the time. So how you refill your well depends on what your focus is and how you get fueled. So I have a couple of ways that I do. One, I love to be by the water, by the ocean. Unfortunately, in Oklahoma, there's no oceans, but there is lakes and bodies of water and man-made lakes. I always tease people about that because they're like, oh, but we have water. Like, no, we had an ocean. It's a little different, right, in California. And so being by the water replenishes you and refreshes you. I think it's just, for me, it's the smell, it's the sounds, it's the freedom and the flow, and you can just hear God's voice and presence, like near the water. I have so many experiences that I have written about, journaled about, experience that are about some water. I can remember one in Pacific. We were at a retreat for a community group that I belonged to, and it was early morning, and I had walked down to the lake and just sat on the banks of the lake. And the mist had formed over the water. So the scripture says in the how the mist formed over the water, right? The dew. And so I started writing about the dew and the moisture and the mist. And you can see this fog sitting over the water. And then as I sat there longer, the fog kind of burned off, and then the sunrise happened, right? It was refreshing because I was immediately tuned into my faith and God and the scripture came alive before me, watching that whole process and how the Spirit moved upon the face of the waters. Immediately I went to that, and I thought about how God hovers over our life, how He refreshes us in His presence, and how that simple act of going to the water activated in me so many things. And so water is a source for me. That's where I go. The other source is I love just family life. So I love like playing game night. I love to hear my kids laugh, my husband laugh, and kind of bantering and whatnot. And so after a long week at work, a long day at work, dealing with people who don't have the same agenda to get things done, I can go and I can sit with them, and they bring me back to my center. So they bring me back with that laughter and cooking for them. I love cooking for them. So it's not a chore or anything. And so I will recenter that way. I love to travel. So when I travel for work, one of my patterns is that, excuse me, I always find a quilt shop, some kind of creative outlet that I can go and tap in, something within that city or in that place that I can go in and experience. So I will refuel in that way. And then my other refuel is just plugging in to worship, some worship music, and also plugging into my friends who I meet with, my mastermind group. I can leave there empowered. Teaching is my way that I refuel. And even though it's work, but for me, it's sharing my story and helping teachers to become better teachers. That's how I refuel. So my bucket, if you've followed me any amount of time, my bucket is pretty full, right? Because that's a pattern that I've developed. And so I don't get to a point where my wells are empty. And so that's what I want to encourage you today, to fill your wells. And do it in a consistent manner. So when there is time where people have to dip into you and you have to begin to pour out, then there's something to pour out because you've had your time. My still away time with God and fellowship and reading the Word. I'm getting ready to get a journal Bible where you can actually journal and color in the margin. I was like, that's pretty cool. And so I'm getting ready to purchase that. For that reason, because that pouring out and recording what God is saying as I'm reading and a scripture that comes to light and what God is speaking, I can write it right in there and then be able to use that as a tool. And so those are things we need to do. So on this Motivation Monday, that's the message. Make sure you're filling your well. Is your well empty or is your well full? Or is it getting low, right? So how will you fill your well today? This week, as you go into your week, I'm so relaxed and chilled. It was just an awesome day yesterday. And so there's a calm in my spirit as I enter into my week. And so that's another thing. If we're entering into our weeks hurried and frustrated, those tend to set up patterns. So you want to make sure you calm yourself as you go into your week, focus your day, so you can actually focus your day. So that's what I have for you today. Have a great day. Make sure you connect with me in our We Connect community. And tonight at 6 o'clock, I believe, we are doing a Q&A on the Launchpad material. So if you want to chime in there. If you don't know what the Launchpad is, you want to make sure you come and put in We Connect Communities, the Launchpad, so we can join you to the group so you can be a part of that. Because it'll give you a sneak peek of the Launchpad that will be relaunching after this Q&A. So love to see you there, 6 o'clock on Facebook Live. So check out there. And then you can also go to our website at developpeople.org. Have an awesome day and make sure you feel your well because people need you. And most of all, God needs you. All right. Bye-bye.